Jono, football can be really cruel, and a third to last game of the season, a last-minute goal that puts you to a defeat. Just your take on today's game.
Yeah, listen, lads are absolutely devastated in there. We're devastated as a staff, but that's football sometimes. I think we started the game quite well. First 25 minutes, 30 minutes looked good. These are a good team, by the way, strong, good team, big budget, big players on big money. Told the boys before the game that they're full of confidence at the moment. I think they've won 14 out of the last 16 or something like that. They haven't been beaten for a long time. But I thought we started the game really well, and we looked good going forward. Probably didn't take our hard chances when we had them. And then even at half time, just said to the players, listen, losing Kulo was a big blow, always going to be a big blow. Massive player for us. But then I thought Glynny did well, playing off the front man, did his defensive work really well, sitting on their deep line midfielder and joined in the attacks really well. And then second half we looked quite comfortable, we looked good. A few half chances both ways. I think Jake Charles had a great chance on his right foot. If that goes in, maybe a different story. And we're talking about fine lines really, and the goal against in the 89th minute is just a killer. It's like the last home game where you concede in the 95th minute. Long ball pass back, long ball by the keeper, over the top. Slide ball across, too easy, just too easy. It's just been talking about in there. It's schoolboy football. You've got to do a lot better. The concentration levels have to be a lot better. We potentially, if we get a point against Curzon last week and a point today, we're 2 points better off, and we'll probably only have to win one of the last two games of the season. So that's how critical it is really. But we have to pick the boys up. It's football. Just said to him in there, 2 massive games. Now you go and win the 2 games, you're in the playoffs. Simple as that. People keep saying Telford's going to be an easy game, Bambi's going to be an easy game because they've got nothing to play for. But just said to the players in there, they're probably the most difficult games because they've got no pressure on them whatsoever. Telford already relegated, so they can play with no pressure at all. Whereas, sometimes when there's something on it, you can be under a little bit of pressure as a player. So they need to get over today's result. Need to bounce back. Hopefully, see how Kulo is over the next couple of days, but it's not looking good at the moment. So we're down another player. We've got three strikers, 3 attacking players, Luca, Gux and Kulo out of 4 attacking options available to us. So we've been unlucky with injuries recently, and to lose your skipper in that way is absolutely gut wrenching as well. So we've got to pick ourselves up. The players have got to pick ourselves up. We've got to pick them up as a staff, and 2 important games. What is it? 2 weeks probably left of the season, or a week and a bit, and we've got to do everything right.
The Wimbledon Stadium has been quite a hard place at the last couple of games. 4 defeats now in a row it is. I imagine going to Telford next week and maybe a bit of a relief for you, just because the away form has been what's been keeping you in the playoffs. But there is a chance, should results go your way, that the playoff places will be secured.
Yeah, I think, listen, you always want to do well at home in front of the supporters. I thought the supporters were marvellous today, supporting the boys all the way to the end. Just couldn't get us over the line. Just like last week away at Chorley, I thought they were superb. But we just talked about it in there just for a few minutes. For our home form recently has not been too good. I think it was not such long ago we celebrated a year at home unbeaten. So, I think a lot of it is silly mistakes, lack of concentration, not being fully concentrated for the full 95 minutes. Most goals, you look against us, haven't been, where people have cut through us with really good football and great play and individual ability. It's always been someone switching off or silly mistakes by us. And I say that as a team, not just as the defenders. I think it's the whole team, because we defend as a team and attack as a team. So it's a responsibility for the whole team to try and cut out the mistakes. And we haven't scored many goals at home recently, so we played okay in patches, created some opportunities, but we haven't been deadly in front of goal. And if you're not scoring goals and you keep making a couple of mistakes to concede goals, it's not a good recipe. So we need to rectify all that. We'll keep working hard. We'll work hard this week, and like the boys always do, they always give it their all. I think been superb all season. The character and attitude and personality has been fantastic. I still think that showed today. I think it shows most games. I think we've only had a couple of off games all year, so that's credit to the players. We just need to cut out the mistakes and be a little bit more clinical in the final third, and proper go for it in the next 2 games.
And you've touched on Michael Coulson there, hobbled off the pitch. You now have only one recognised striker in your side. With 2 games coming up, it's now going to be a case of one or 2 players in your side are going to have to step up, aren't they, to get your 3 points over the line?
Yeah, well, that's like any team. You need your players who are in the starting 11 to come and affect the game when they get the chance. So it's a big chance for players to come in and perform at a level where you can't drop them. So I think we've been quite good at that most of the year. We've got Telford next Saturday, we've got the cup final on the Wednesday, and then the home game on the Saturday against Banbury. So it's a massive week next week. We're going to need everybody. We just need to try and pick the boys up because they're a bit down in there.
Cheers, Jono.
You're welcome, mate.